Alrighty, everyone. So now we are back at the airplane, of course, and I believe I am finally finished getting this linkage installed. So I'll go over it again real quick. Of course, the block is held in place onto this channel here with nut plates. So this is bolted in place. You have to machine these two flats on the bracket, this side and this side, so that there's space for the clevis pin to clear as the mechanism moves. Those clevis pins need room to clear in here. And like I had mentioned before, as this pivots around, you'll also need to cut the corners off of the high area here so that the ends of the rods will clear the corners. Of course, you'll have to channel out, so you'll have to put a cutout on this support for the rod to pass through, and it's got to be long enough so again, as this turns, the rod has room to move. I had to come back in on the top of this piece. You can't see it because it's hidden, but the top of this piece up here. Again, as the clevis pins moved, the bottom of this clevis pin was hitting the top of this piece just behind the white block. So I had to notch that out a little bit to give clearance for this pin to pass beyond it. And then I also had to take, there's a cutout right here at this end. I just had to make that a little bit bigger because as you pull the handle, this lever, as it gets pulled this way, it comes out. So you can see that a little bit here. See how the tube moves from where it is? It starts to move out this way. So I just had to make this a little bit bigger to give more clearance for the tube to swing all the way out. So that's all fine and dandy now. And then I've got the handle in place just temporarily. I put a washer at the bottom. As per the plans, I've got a washer here. But I'm also going to use a washer at this end. You can see the washer is in place there. But I do not have the bushing in place. Like I said, I didn't want the spring to push directly on the bushing, the plastic bushing, because the spring is stepped. So it would be applying a lot of force in one concentrated area on the plastic bushing, which I didn't like. So I will be adding a washer at this end as well. Now for me personally, I think the spring is a little too tight. I wish I would have taken this hole and moved it down a little bit more so that the spring isn't preloaded quite as tight as it is now. When I put the bushing in here, it's going to preload it even more. So I'm not a fan of that. However, I shouldn't have to use this. Like I said, of course, it's used in emergencies, but I may also deploy it just to get the canopy off for whatever reason if I want to take the canopy completely off the airplane. So I'd like this to be a little bit more, I don't want to say loose, but I don't want to have to exert a lot of pressure to get it to disengage. So I may modify the spring. Maybe I'll just take this hole and slit it, make it more of a slit. I'm not there yet. I'm going to deal with that when I go to put this in permanently. This is all temporary. But for now it works fine. And like I had mentioned, I put my handle horizontal instead of vertically. I just like this idea better, and you can see how that works when you pull it. And you've got the mechanism there. I just pull it a little bit. It's hard to pull, so I can't pull it and hold the camera at the same time. But that's the idea, of course. And then you pull it far enough, it disengages the pin, which I can't do one-handed, standing outside the cockpit. So now that is done. So at this point, I've fitted all of the structure. I fitted the skin. I match drilled everything that I could. Now I've got the latch mechanism in place and done. Before I take any of this apart, the last thing that I need to do is I need to make and fit the vents, the round eyeball type vents go in here, and there's an L bracket that I need to make to hold the vent and to attach it to the side of the fuselage on both sides, this corner and that corner. So I'll do that next. Once those are done, everything can come apart. Everything will come out, and then of course everything will get deburred, edge finished, fluted. That piece over there, this piece here with the blue still on it, that still needs 2 nut plates put on it so that the instrument panel can connect to it. So I got to put nut plates on that, deburr, edge finish, all that good stuff. I've got some holes that I have not drilled because I can't get to them with the structure in place. So after this stuff is taken off, I'll drill out those holes, and again, edge finish and all that. Everything will get cleaned. I'll vacuum everything really nice inside, clean up all the mess that's in here from all of this match drilling. Dimple the skin, dimple some pieces in here that need to be dimpled. I'll do whatever riveting I can, but this structure is not going to be attached to the airplane anytime soon because I got to figure out how to do avionics. I've got some work to do in here still, just simple stuff with the brake lines and things like that. I've got some of those aluminum conical seals that I want to put on. So that's where I'm headed. I'm going to do the vents next. And then once that's done, I'm going to pull all this off. I'll probably go ahead and do all of the cleanup and deburring and dimpling. Have this entire structure and the skin ready to go back on. But I'm not going to install it because I've got other things to do. So that wraps it up at this point for this structural work. I'll document a little bit on the eyeball stuff that I do next, and then we'll move on to, I'm not sure, I think maybe some canopy frame stuff is next, but we'll see. I'll talk to you guys when we get there.